Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I'm up today with a layout making some DIY embellishments. So I got this idea from Fabulously Creative on YouTube, and I will link her video down below. And she made these little tiny envelopes, much smaller than what I'm making. And she kind of filled them with things. And I wanted to use that same idea, and then after this video, it'll be a few days after this video, I will put up a video where I am using these embellishments on a layout. But my basic idea was to create little envelopes or pockets for photos to sit in. So you'll see that I add things to these envelopes, but while I'm adding things, just remember that it will be covered. So you won't see any of the writing or anything that's on any of the kind of tags or bits and pieces that go into these envelopes, because I will be covering them with photos. So I'm starting off with tags first of all. I'm adding tags in, and you saw me actually create one of the envelopes with the envelope punch board. It's super easy if you have an envelope punch board to make envelopes, because all the measurements are listed on the envelope punch board for you. So I just had to figure out what size my photo was, and then I could look at the corresponding envelope and sort of go for one that was slightly bigger, so I had a bit of space. But yeah, and so you can see on the left is my example that I made, and that was with a slightly smaller, I think that example is a 3x3 size envelope, and I wanted to use a 3x3 photo, so I made my envelope slightly larger. I think the envelope width is 3 3/4 of an inch. And I knew that I had 3x3 size photos to put into the envelope, if that makes sense. So I have added some cut aparts from one of the collections. I have added some tags, and now I'm going through my ephemera to see what else I might want to add to the front of the envelope, which you will see. So you can see I've got a typewriter in the top left there. So I'm adding some things that you will see as embellishment clusters when I put the photos in, but everything tucked into the envelope, like the top right where you can see those flowers, those yellow flowers, you won't see those. They'll be covered with the photo. So remember that as I'm putting this together. You could absolutely make these much smaller, like Fabulously Creative did on her channel, and use them as actual embellishment clusters where you can see everything that's in them. You could definitely do that, and they are super cute when you do that. So yeah, but I wanted to kind of take that concept, make it bigger, and use it to hold my photos. So that's all I'm doing, folks. That is all this video is, making DIY embellishments, little envelope embellishments to hold photos. So you're just going to now watch me layer up different things and stick everything down. Now, I don't put twine in these tags because I add that when I make my layout. So don't panic, I do add the twine, but I wait till I put it on the layout and then I add it then. I could have totally added it in this video because obviously you can see the colour scheme in, the embellishment. So it's not like I'm going to be changing colour schemes once I put it onto a layout. So I totally could have added it at this stage. And that would make putting a layout together even quicker because honestly, I've already put the layout together. So I know what it looks like, and I know that it took about 5 minutes to put my photos into the envelopes and stick them on a page. And it took about 15 minutes or 20 minutes to put the twine in each of those holes. So just something to think about. You could definitely pre-twine all of those holes and it would save you a lot of time in the creating the layout stage. Now, as you can see here, I'm just playing around with different bits, to create my embellishment clusters. They're all a little bit random. There's sunglasses on 2 of them. There's a typewriter. There's a mason jar with the word hello. So, they are a little random. They're not particularly themed, and I probably could have done a better job of that. But that's okay. I think they look cute. And because they're all from similar collections, they're not actually all from the same collection, but One Canoe 2 has a very similar aesthetic for all of their collections, and it's very easy to mix them. The only thing they do is they have a different shade of metal in each of their collections. They have like 3 collections with gold, but one's a matte gold, and then there's a few different kind of hues and a few different finishes. But I actually don't mind mixing metals, so I mix them all the time, but that is something to think about when you're mixing those collections. I don't believe they're making scrapbooking collections anymore. I could be wrong, but I don't think they are, which is sad because I've loved them. They are one of my favourite designers, actually. I thought they were beautiful. So I'm a bit sad to hear they're not doing scrapbooking collections anymore. But, you know, that's okay. These things happen. But hopefully, I think they're still making like stationery and things like that. Just not scrapbooking stuff. So yeah, you can see me here just layering up, just adding some ATG tape and layering them all into the envelopes. I'm not putting a heap of glue on, like there's enough glue that it's sticking. But because I was trying to sort of slide it into different places before it stuck, I didn't want to cover it all in glue. I could have used wet glue because that obviously gives you a lot of wiggle room, which here I'm using now for the word hello. But yeah, I didn't. I used my ATG because I've recently got more tape refill and now I'm using my ATG for everything. And I've got some of the kind of branded Scotch brand ATG refill, but then I just got a whole heap as well from, I think from the Tape Jungle, another Australian lovely lady called Gwen. She organised for a bulk order and then sent it out to us, which was fabulous. So now I'm stocked up with ATG tape, and it's definitely a good way to do it, to buy in bulk like that. So I shouldn't need tape for quite some time. It took me ages to remember how to rethread my ATG gun though. It's one of those, I feel like it's one of those skills. If you don't do it all the time, you lose it. Does anyone else have an ATG and feel the same way? I didn't have any tape for my ATG for probably nearly 12 months. I really had to fight with my ATG gun to, remember how to refill it. And now I've done it once and then I just had to refill again the other day and it was easy. Whew. So yes, definitely something you need to practice. So as I said, I'm just tucking all my tags in, just finishing all of my little clusters, tucking them in, also trying to figure out kind of where I'm going to place these on my layout so that all the tags are kind of facing in a aesthetically pleasing direction, the large tags. So I'm kind of making them face into each other, and this will be how the layout goes onto how the embellishments go onto my layout, just like that. And so I'm just adding the final little pieces on the last embellishment, the last envelope, and then I'll be finished. So I do have a close-up photo for this, but it's not a particularly good one. I sort of thought that I would put this into the same video as my layout, but it was just a little long, so I did separate the two of them. And yeah, I do have a close-up, but it's not the best, so I do apologise for that. But yes, thank you for watching. I hope you're making your own DIY embellishments and starting to get back into that and using up your stash. This was a great way to use up cutter parts. The tags were also from cutter parts. And so yeah, it was fabulous. So look out for my coming video, which will be how I use these in a layout. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video. Bye guys.